This is Leslie.
This is Lee.
We met in 2004.
We got married in 2007.
And it's been an adventure.
And our next adventure is Project Brockley.
This all started when we got married and moved into a small condo. We quickly came to realize that since I grew up in the country,
and I grew up in a small town on 3.5 acres,
that it would be nice for us to have a little bit more room.
We looked and looked, but at the time we couldn't afford it. All we could afford was our little condo, which we ended up staying at for about 2 years. We started looking again for land. We put an offer in on
5 acres.
5 acres.
It didn't happen. So we continued to look.
We wanted out of the condo and into something a little more ours. And one Saturday we went and looked at 8 houses, and the first one is the one that we've been living in for the last 10 years.
Something about Leslie is when you try to figure out what she wants, you should start with the things that she doesn't like. We kind of came up with a list, and it helped us to realize that when we did find the land that we wanted, that we would have to build. Over time, we came to realize what we were looking for, really. And we wanted to be close to Norman, Oklahoma. And we really like this town. We've got a nice established friends base here.
It's close to family.
We're Sooner fans, so it makes sense for us to stay real close to Norman.
Finding land in Norman is really hard, and it's really expensive.
It's more expensive than Oklahoma as a whole. Nationwide, it's probably a little cheaper. Everybody that knows us knew we were looking. Now and again, we'd bring it up. A coworker and friend mentioned that a property that's on the street of another coworker was going up for auction. Auction.com.
Auction.com.
I liked the property considerably. Sent pictures to Leslie and a little video. Okay, not quite in the middle of the property, but pretty close. This is facing north, back towards the back of the property. And over here is the eastern side, facing due east now. Alright, and then here's the back of the trailer. Facing south towards the road. And then my view is kind of obscured by this fir tree and this other tree. But facing west now. It's not a very well edited video, but it was a video.
Yeah, so how do we go about doing this auction.com? Like, I literally thought it was a scam. I didn't think it was anything real.
We bid low, just in case we could get it cheaply. And the bid stopped going up, so we stopped bidding.
And then we didn't get it.
Not at all.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Someone outbid us.
Yeah, we lost it. We pretty much gave up on this particular property. The coworker across the street caught me one day and said, "It's going back up for auction."
Like, oh, really? We did a little bit more research.
A lot more research.
A lot more research. I had some friends at a title company, asked their input on some things. We found some records, and come to find out the owner had died and there wasn't anyone to take the property, so it went back to the bank. Did a pretty educated guess on what the bank might take it for.
Some public records were available kind of on the court hearings for the foreclosure.
Oh,
there we go.
Foreclosure.
I go back to my office and I bid on it. Pretty sure that we know how much it's going to go for. I think my last statement was to her is, "I'm going to stop right here." And a little bit later back in my office, I got nervous. I really wanted it. And so I bid the amount that we thought we would have to bid. My impression at the time was that we both wanted it equally.
I did want land. I would have liked to have seen the land before we bought it, but
We bought it.
we bought it,
Yeah.
and I got to see it a couple of days later.
None of the process went entirely as expected. My expectation was that she was ready to buy it. Her expectation was that I would consult her more than I did, which I should have. The lender misunderstood us a bit and said, oh yeah, we could lend you the money to buy that, except the land had a trailer house on it.
Yeah.
Lender wouldn't
Removed.
lend on a used trailer house.
Oh yeah, the trailer had to go.
We knew that first step we would have to get it separated from the property, so we went through the appropriate channels to do that, filled out the appropriate paperwork, paid the appropriate fees. We started calling companies to come collect the trailer house.
We weren't going to leave it. We did consider burning it down.
The whole thing about it is we didn't want the trailer house. We had no interest in the trailer house itself. We wanted the land.
The trailer hadn't been lived in for several years.
The trailer house was going to need a lot of work to be livable.
Yeah.
But, through talking with neighbors, we found somebody that could use the trailer house.
Yeah, and knew how to fix it up enough.
Yeah. If you pay to have it moved, it's yours.
So one weekend we went out there and it was gone. So yay, that was taken care of.
Yep.
We weren't quite ready to do anything with the land yet. It was a really good deal, so we wanted to snatch it up before it was gone.
Land in Norman, it's expensive for Oklahoma. By buying it at auction, paying about 60% of what we would have on the regular market. In short, we got the appropriate financing. We're able to pay for the thing that we bid on.
Yeah.
We got everything closed.
Yeah, we did everything. We signed by email.
We didn't see any of the involved party in any of the transactions. It was strange.
We were really like, did we actually just buy this? Like legitimately?
Yeah, our name shows up on all of the legal paperwork, so we're good. We know we want to build because we
want what we want.
Yeah, we want things our way. And there are things that we like and don't like, and we're fully aware of that. So the decision is to have land to build, not going to become house poor. It's not what we want to do.
Yeah, we were trying to do everything as smart as possible.
So we decided to sit on the land for a while, make the payments, and kind of discuss our next step.
We would just go out there and sit and imagine, envision.
We looked at houses of various sizes and talked about being more minimalistic and possibly going for not a tiny house, but, a house that would have been perfectly fine in the 50s. And what we decided,
we needed a shop to put all the stuff in.
Since we're going to put a building on the property, we might as well live in it and do it cheaply to save money. As involved as we are in the construction trade, not at all.
Not at all.
We decided to general contract the building ourselves.
Yeah, so we started looking at shop buildings with living quarters, metal buildings with living quarters, condominiums.
Wasn't ever intended to be our permanent dwelling, so nice marble countertops aren't a must-have.
Like, we don't need fancy. And we talked with several builders. One of them,
I liked him. We got the quote.
and the quote,
Felt really high.
it hurt. That quote hurts a lot. We had to take a step back and decide if we were just way off base, and it took us almost another year to decide if this was the smart thing to do, if we should just go ahead and build the forever house, or once we already got that in our mind about having this extra shop building,
we also got in our mind that we would like to try
like a smaller living space. Our current house is just over 2,000 square feet. And when we were designing this in theory, we said, well, we could live in 400 square feet.
Yeah. So it became quickly apparent that we would probably get better return on investment if we put in a couple of second floor rooms. It was fairly cheap to add those in. Started approaching metal building. We knew that we didn't want to do that part ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at it, looked at getting a kit, but no, didn't want. We thought, just get that out of the way, have someone else come do it, take care of it for us. That way we know it's done right.
Well, we're in city limits, so there are codes that have to be fulfilled, and engineered drawings for that part of the structure are required. So it made sense to go with a, reputable metal building company.
We landed on Callahan Steel Buildings out of Mustang, Oklahoma.
It wasn't just that they were an established company, which is something that we required. We wanted somebody who'd been in business a while that would likely stay in business. The offering that they had and the price alone, a lot of it went off of how well we worked together. Decided to use Callahan. They weren't the cheapest or the most expensive. Yeah, and it was more about the relationship. Relationship made up the total package, made it the right package. And that's something that we've really experienced through all of this, is that it's finding the lender. It wasn't just the person that could give us the money. We really enjoyed the relationship because the lender was able to tell us things like, this is not the right direction to head. Maybe you should look at this. And we trusted them, and our dialogue was good. And the same thing with the metal building company.
Yep. And so we got everything squared away, and we actually started breaking ground process of this shop building in August of 2020.
And wham bam, we're on our way to having a metal building with a living space in it.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
Yeah.
And on the recommendation, the encouragement of some friends and family, they told us to start a YouTube channel. So
yeah, they said document the process.
I mean, I'm a photographer. I document the process.
And we both like to still tell stories and talk, so yeah, why not?
It works. So this is the intro to our channel.
Yeah. Follow along with us. It's going to be an adventure at very least. We're going to have two amateurs building a house.
Inside of a metal building.
Yeah. So,
and then, on down the road, years later, we will have a forever house and a garden and who knows what else.
Yep. One step at a time. Let's get someplace where we can live.
Yep.
All right. Like and subscribe. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.